it happened again. Yep, so 3 days ago, I decreased to the lowest level of the medication I'm taking to reduce the swelling in my head. First day, everything was great, felt normal, no issues whatsoever. Second day, started getting kind of a headache, my eyes were sore, and I was thinking like, okay, that's kind of weird. And you know, it slowly got worse throughout the day. So I'm like, all right, cool, let's take it easy. Let's hope this is nothing serious, no big deal. Hopefully I'll be back to normal tomorrow and everything will be fine. As you can probably guess by the fact that I'm making a video, it did not get better the next day. In fact, it got worse. So woke up, well, first of all, didn't sleep well at all during the night, kept tossing and turning. And you know when you wake up like more exhausted than when you went to bed and pretty much everything in your body is sore? That's what it was like. So that next day, yeah, woke up feeling exhausted, sore, pounding headache. My eyes hurt like just blinking. You know when just blinking hurts? Well, maybe you've never had that. Hopefully you've never had that, but if you have, you'll know how much it sucks. And so I'm like, all right, let's try to take it easy. I decided, you know what? I'm feeling so out of it. Like I just don't have the energy to, no, that's not true. That was the previous day. The previous day, I'm like, I'm really not feeling good today. So let me just kind of skip the normal routine of, you know, pills and green juice and tea and fruit salad and everything. I'm like, I'm gonna eat some fruit because that's really good for my body. But aside from that, I'm just gonna kind of take it easy, take a break from everything today. Like not work out, not go for a run, not do the meditation, not do all my routine. I'm just like, I need a break. That was the first day. And the second day when it got worse, I'm like, all right, let's try to go back to normal. Maybe that's gonna help me feel better. So started preparing breakfast and the green juice and everything. And I was really out of it. Like I literally had to, well, in the beginning, sit down and then lie down because sitting down was not doing the trick because I was feeling lightheaded like a dozen times throughout preparing breakfast. So like maybe in a, well, it took longer because of that, but maybe in a 30-minute window, I had to sit/lie down a dozen times. So I'm like, okay, this is really not good. But at the same time, it's like I can't stop because I know I need to eat food. I know that's what's going to help me feel better and hopefully stop the lightheadedness and everything. So anyway, I kept pushing through, eventually finished, managed to make it to the living room that's where I eat, managed to make it to the living room without passing out. Had to make a couple trips though, sit down a couple times. But I eventually made it and then started eating. And I did feel better a bit. Like the pounding headache was still there, the sore eyes and everything that was still there, but it's like at least I didn't feel lightheaded anymore. At least I didn't feel like I was gonna pass out. So I'm like, all right, that's a win. That's a win for today. I'm gonna fucking take it because I got nothing else going for me. So, you know, a couple hours go by, I watch TV because even though it doesn't necessarily help for the eyes, at least it's a distraction. So time seems like it's going faster, as if you're just lying there and you're like, okay, this hurts, this sucks. It's like I prefer a little more pain and at least I'm distracted. So did that for a couple hours. Couple hours later, lo and behold, oh no, before that, during those couple hours, I'm like, okay, this is too intense. I can't go through the entire day with this kind of pain. So I went and took some of the pain pills they gave me from beginning a couple months ago. I kept them just in case. So after a couple hours, started feeling better. But then I got the very familiar sensation of, ah, crap, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. So try to write it out a bit, and then it quickly becomes evident there's no way this is going away. So let's go let's go take a trip to the bathroom. And yeah, it was not pretty, but it did feel really, really good. So I literally threw up like everything from breakfast, all the pills, all the vitamin, pain pills, the drugs or the medication to reduce the swelling in my head, like the food from the previous day, everything just came spewing out. So the downside is, okay, I have nothing left in my stomach. I feel like I have nothing left in my stomach, which means like none of the pain pills, nothing. So it's like, crap, the pain is gonna come back. It was still there, but I mean, it's not going to go away. It's not going to diminish. The good thing is I felt really good after that. Like stomach-wise, physically, aside from the headache and the eye sore, I was just like, oh, okay, I definitely needed this slight break. But I'm like, okay, this is not good. Throwing up is always a very bad sign. So I'm like, it's not intense enough that I need to go to the emergency room, but I'm gonna call my pivot nurse to let her know like, hey, this is the situation. What should I do? So call her, leave a message, because of course she's always like running around doing stuff. So I can never reach her directly on the phone. I always have to call, leave a message, and then she calls back later. So that's what I do. And I'm like, I'm hoping she calls back today because I don't want to wait like well, I mean, she usually calls relatively quickly, either that day or the next day, depending on when I call. But I'm just like, I don't, I kind of need answers now. I need to know what the strategy is. So luckily for me, a couple hours later, she calls back. During that time, I did take more pain pills. I'm like, I just threw them up. There's no downside of not overdosing, but it's, they say don't take more than X amount every X amount of time. So I'm like, okay, that's not an issue because everything came back out. I need to get rid of pain, so I took some more. So aside from that, I was just waiting and waiting. There's a lot of waiting when it comes to hospitals and being sick and everything. So anyway, eventually she calls back. I explained the situation in the message. So she's like, first of all, call the call the radiology nurse, leave a message, explain the situation. I only have the email address for the doctor who kind of treated me and is in charge of everything related to radiology to the radiotherapy. So she's like, email him and he'll get back to you. So that's what I did. And she's like, okay, also call the doctor who's treating. Because the last time I was at the hospital, I was at the normal hospital, the one I always go to for 3 days. Then they transferred me to a neurological hospital. And then another doctor kind of did a bunch of tests and took charge of the case, if you will. The thing is, like, I'm still with the other doctor, the radiotherapy one. So I'm like, I kind of have two. So I'm like, so she's like, just contact everyone. Now, the thing is, I don't have the phone number for that other doctor at the neurological hospital. So I'm like, all right, let's just go on Google, find the general number of the hospital, call, talk to someone and be like, hey, I need to speak to this doctor. Can you please transfer me? So that's what I did. Of course, he didn't answer, so I left a message. So after that was done, I'm like, all right, left one message, left two messages, sent an email, nothing else I can do, let's just wait. So ironically, the person I sent the email to was the first person to respond. In fact, the other one from the other hospital still hasn't responded. At this point, it doesn't really matter because as you can probably tell, I'm feeling better. So anyway, that doctor calls back, I explain the situation, and he's like, all right, just seems like there's probably more swelling, so let's go back to the previous level that you were on right before lowering. Do that for 10 days, then go back down, we'll see how you react, and we'll go from there. So he's like, and then he was thinking like, maybe we should go back to the previous one, like the second last one. And I'm like, is it necessary? Because that was too high a level to keep doing the immunotherapy treatment. I would prefer just going back to the previous one. That way we can keep up the treatment. And up until I diminished, everything was going really well. So I think it'll be good. So he's like, yeah, okay, sure, that makes sense. Let's go with that. So basically I'm back on the previous level for 10 days and then I have to go back. I get to go back down to the level that I was currently at for the last 3 days. Now all I need to do is just go to the pharmacy, see if there's, renewals or anything like that I can do, because now with this new strategy, I'm going to run out before. So anyway, it's a whole other thing, but in comparison to the last couple of days, really not that big a deal. So as you can tell, I slept really well. I'm back to normal. My hair, not quite so much, but I wanted to kind of keep this because that's what I've looked like for the last couple of days. And I'm just like, it illustrates kind of what I went through. So yeah, that's been my story for the last few days. Another relapse. Every single time things seem to be great, boom, something happens and it's not so great. But at the end of the day, it's still like, it doesn't change anything in the grand scheme of things. I'm still grateful for everything. It's just part of the process. Plus, it makes things interesting and gives me something to talk about in videos. So, yeah, I'll talk to you next time something happens. Once again, messed it up.